How's it going, everybody? Thanks for clicking on that link or thumbnail. I appreciate you guys' support. I'm renting the Fujifilm X-E4, newly released camera by Fujifilm lineup. You know, I've never used Fujifilm really anything for commercial work or street photography, and you know, they have a big following. I think almost every street photographer on the planet has one, used one to some extent, and I just wanted to give this camera a try. So I'm not going to be comparing it to previous models or other cameras within the Fujifilm lineup, and I'm not going to go into all the specs, the details into the specs and all that. It's helicopter. This is just a pure first impressions video. I've had this for 2 days now, and I have 3 more days on the rental to go, so I'm trying to shoot as much as I can with this camera. The challenging things thus far, having not used a Fujifilm, is trying to learn the layout and the settings. And also, I wanted to save a couple bucks, so I didn't rent a 23mm, 35mm equivalent lens, which is what I've been shooting with ever since I started street photography. So I borrowed a 50mm equivalent lens from my buddy Lance.
I'm in designer. If I see her, then I got a bro. Yes, I am a dog with these diamonds.
It's very difficult. I don't know how some people shoot with 50mm focal length. I like to get close to my subject, so trying to learn how to use the camera and the settings and all that. And with the 50mm focal length, I think I've kind of been unsuccessful the past 2 days shooting the streets. Let's just talk about the design real quick. It has the rangefinder look, very small, compact. I've been shooting with the ricohgriii street edition camera for almost a year now, and that took me a while to get used to because this one is much smaller than this one. That one took me a while to get used to in my hands, and this one is a little bit bigger, but still small. I think if I had the hand grip, which there is one, there's a hand grip and a thumb grip for this camera. I think if I had either one of those, it would fit much better in my hands. You know, it's a nice small camera. There is a kit combo with this one, with the 27mm pancake lens. So this was truly designed to just fit in your pocket and shoot street or be on the go. The layout of the buttons, you know, having not used Fujifilm, it's still taking me some time to get used to. One of the cool things that I like about the design is the LCD screen. It can flip a 180 all the way. So it's really perfect for if you do vlogging and you have a wide lens, not this 50mm lens. And there's also right over here, microphone jack and USB-C charger, so you can offload your photos, and then a micro HDMI output, so you can mount you know, like a monitor for video, or HDMI, or a small HD video monitor. So let's talk about the image quality. It's 26 megapixels. It's a APS-C crop sensor. And right off the back, when I took my first street photograph the other day, I noticed the image quality is it's really sharp. And like I mentioned earlier, I've been using the ricohgriii street edition camera, which is not really known for superb image quality. So I just knew right away that the image quality from here is much better. Or at least sharper. But for street photography, I wouldn't put an emphasis on image quality or sharpness for street photography. The most important thing you want to do is just whatever you capture in frame or whatever you fill the frame with, and then image quality is kind of secondary. This may be good if you are traveling, or you know, you take pictures of your kids, your family, and you want, or you commercial work, or you do commercial work, and you need more of that image quality, or you need to rely more on that, then this camera is probably, if you're on a budget, this camera is definitely for you. And just to add in there, it takes 8 frames per second mechanical shutter. You know, it has that loud noise. And if you switch to electronic shutter, it takes 20 frames per second, which is doesn't make any noise at all. So for street photography, I tend to usually put it on silent mode, just because I don't want people to hear that I'm taking their picture, or even get suspicious, you know, if that I'm taking their photo or not. So I just keep it on silent, and I usually take 1 frame at a time, but the past couple of days I've been testing it and really enjoy the 8 frames or 20 frames per second. It's a little overkill, but I'm just renting this camera, so I'm not killing. I'm killing somebody else's shutter. The battery is great on here. I shot for about an hour and a half the other day, and it wasn't even a half full. So it takes, I believe, over 400 pictures. So I think it really depends. You know, we all know your battery will fluctuate depending how many times you click that shutter button, and depending on what your camera settings are at. But probably at my speed or what and how I shoot, it probably lasts over 3 hours on 1 battery alone. The other thing that bugs me about this camera is that I wish it had a separate button for video. So if you're shooting a video, you gotta select it under the drive delete button, and then go under the camera. So the shutter button acts as the video recording button. I guess it's just something that I'm used to, you know, having shot so much video on my Sony a7S or Sony a7 series, where it has the shutter button and separate record button off to the side. So I think that's just my small pet peeve with this camera. So 2 big pluses for me with the Fujifilm X-E4 is, and it has nothing to do with megapixels or internal specs and all that, but one of them being is the electronic viewfinder. I really like the fact that once I bring it up to my eye, it displays the image in my viewfinder right away. And having used other cameras in the past, it usually takes about a good second or two to display the image. And when you're shooting or doing street photography, and there's a lot of different things happening, and sometimes you only have a good second or two to make that picture happen, the display comes on once you bring it up to your eye, and then you're able to frame it just in time to make that picture happen. So I really do like the EVF on this. And the other thing that I like about the X-E4 is how quickly the camera powers on when it's off. Comparing it to other cameras that I've used in the past, it takes a good a good second or 2 or 3 for the camera to power on and function properly and kind of wake up. So this one, you know, if it's off, you turn it on, you're able to make that picture happen pretty immediately. You know, it depends on the situation. Sometimes when I'm doing street, I like to power off my camera just because I want to preserve the battery, or sometimes the situation is, you know, I'm not really getting any shots, I'm not really feeling it, so I'll just turn off my camera and just go on a walk and just enjoy the scene. And sometimes I'll see something or come across something, and you know, I'll power on my camera and then I'll just miss the shot, you know. So this one, you can have your camera off, and if you see something coming at you, you can power it on real quickly and be able to go look through the EVF and then frame your shot within that split second. So I'm really impressed with the electronic viewfinder on the X-E4, as well as how fast the camera powers on. So let's talk about video. So one of the main reasons why I wanted to check out the Fujifilm X-E4 camera is because of the slow motion feature. It can record up to 240 frames per second in HD. And right off the bat, I can tell you that the quality of the slow motion is amazing. And if you're on a tight budget or you're just in need of a camera that should be able to shoot slow motion, I highly recommend this just for that. The camera also shoots in 4K, internally 4K at 8-bit, and if you have an external monitor like the Atom Shogun or something like that, you can record up to 10-bit 4K. Just from my first glance, I can let you know that the HD quality from the camera is more than good enough. So 4K, especially if you're just gonna upload your video on YouTube or Instagram, social media, things like that, HD is more than good enough. 4K is just gonna eat up more space for you. So wrapping up this video, who is this camera for? I would say this camera is for anybody that's entering the street photography genre or is new to street photography. It's light, it's minimalist, and great design, great image quality, and not a lot to overwhelm a new shooter. And those of you that are coming from a DSLR unit or a bigger, larger, bulkier camera and you want to downsize to a lighter camera, this can be for you as well. For video people, if you want slow motion aspects or slow motion features with great quality, this can be for you as well. So before I close this video, I just want to talk about the price. Currently, it's March 2021, and in the US, the body goes for $849, which I think is fairly reasonable. But in any event, I have 3 more days with this camera, so I'm gonna see what else images I can be able to get. So thanks for watching. Until next time.